Hello, hello, hello. Happy Wednesday. I can't believe it's Wednesday already. It's been 1 month since we've been live. I missed everybody. Sorry, we had craziness going on. You guys all know that I go home in August for my dad's passing. We do a dinner for his anniversary, and it just happened to be like the week, well, like 12 days before everything that my uncle ended up in hospice. And so what I usually go home for, like 12 days, turned into me being gone for 25 days, which I could not wait to get back to my bed. I'm sure all of you guys are the same way. And then you almost need like a vacation from the vacation. So it's been it's been interesting, but I'm so happy to be back with you guys. I missed everybody. I missed talking about everything. I did record an interview for Stu Peters while I was home, which was amazing. I was so grateful for the opportunity. The fact that Stu Peters knows what my show even is was amazing. And he does great work. I really enjoy him. He's a very good person, like personable. I really liked him. And so that was really fun to do considering the circumstances. I wished that I might have been a little bit better, a little more comfortable and relaxed, like I am here with you guys. But it was like a week before my dad's passing. My uncle was passing away. And so, and then I was sick with a double ear infection the whole time I was home as well. So, lots of stuff going on, but we did the best we could for my first interview. I was extremely nervous and I was happy that I took it and proud of myself. So, anyways, hello, chat. Let's see who's in here. Thank you so much, Skeptic Nut, for the 10 jewels. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Thank you for being here. Kristen's in the chat. Hello, Kristen. Golden Cat, hello. Let's see. Peaky Blinders, how are you? I looked comfortable. I hope I did. I think I was a little stiff, but again, it's nerves and then just everything that was going on in the background. And so it's been really hard lately because August is just a bad month to begin with, just because of everything that's gone on in my life. And for those of you that have lost a parent, it's just different. It's very weird. Grief is weird when it comes to losing a parent. And so even though it's an anniversary and it's year 3, I still don't feel, I want to say relief, because you don't ever feel relief, but I just still feel this huge amount of sadness that I thought like maybe it would lift a little bit. But again, it's just, I just think grief is grief. Thank you, Shannon, for the 10 jewels. I appreciate you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You are so sweet. Nice job. Stu has been great on this case. He really has. He's done great work, even with COVID, through COVID. Love your content. Thank you so much. Working for a living. I appreciate you. Truly, I appreciate everybody that watches the channel and is a part of the channel. We really do have a very positive space. Is YouTube blocked me from the chat? No, Peaky Blinders. I'm seeing everything that you're writing. You should not be blocked from the chat, so I don't know what's going on. Oh, no, we're able to see your comments. So, all right. So we're going to jump right into today. We're going to focus on everything that's going on kind of like the last couple weeks. A lot of you I know don't have X, don't have other platforms. And so there's been a lot of stuff that's gone on that I want to go over. And it's been quite a month. So again, I appreciate all of you being here with me. And I always just try to remind everybody that I appreciate the support and the fact that they enjoy the channel. I'm grateful for the community. It's important to let people know that you're grateful for them picking to stick with you, because there's plenty of channels out there that people can watch. And so it's always good to stay humble. And so I always want to put that out there and remind you guys that you guys are truly amazing. And without you, the channel wouldn't be what it is. Hopefully we'll continue to grow. Hopefully we'll be better in the future. I'm sure we will, God willing. So we are just going to jump right into it. I just wanted to give everyone a couple minutes and say hi in the chat. And we are going to start rolling. So let's start with, all right. All right. So I'd covered Diligent Denizen being at the Washington County Sheriff's Office. I'm sure you guys seen that video with him walking around and showing the cameras in front of the sheriff's department in the lobby and then also near the secretary. And the reason for that was to show, like, why don't we have any footage of Tyler turning himself in? I went back to the video that I did where I was covering the news coverage showing that the news had said that they did not know where this footage went and that they had no idea if it was something where things were recorded over, a tape records over after so many hours or whatever, which I don't know how the police department wouldn't know their own camera system. But as everything is with this case, it's odd. It doesn't make sense. So he went there to point out these cameras. Again, if you can't provide us one type of footage, right, of him walking in the front door, what about in the lobby? What about in the hallway? We get this one video where you don't ever even see his face of him in a room. So that was weird. Well, he made a post about the UVU camera footage and that being possibly intentionally degraded, which would not probably surprise any of us. It's possible. I'm not saying that that's what happened, but the type of security camera that they have, he kind of went into that type of camera, which is very capable of having the ability to film in 4K. I would imagine if it's on a college campus, and even the cameras that are in the police station, that you would have high quality cameras. So wouldn't, you think of Walmart and things and you watch crime shows, even the Walmart footage, people are able to identify people. So I find it very interesting that the police station of all places, and on top of it, a college campus would not have 4K clear cameras. But again, what would I know? I'm just some girl from Florida who podcasts. So I'm not, scientist. But so I got a comment on my Tupac video this morning, and someone was saying it's really crazy that the casino footage from 30 years ago is clearer than the Tyler Robinson video footage that we have seen. And I thought that was hysterical because it's so true. That footage was a VHS tape that recorded over and over and over and over and over. And what was testified to was every time that tape is recorded over, it basically degrades the quality of the footage, which makes sense, wear and tear, right? And so, how can we look at that footage and you can see, okay, this is Orlando Anderson, this is so and so, this is Tupac, this is Suge, but yet we can't get decent footage of Tyler Robinson in today's day and age when we have absolutely excellent footage. It just does not make sense. Again, great point, Kristen. I was just going there. Do they have flock cameras there? Again, try to get past anywhere nowadays without a flock camera. So it's interesting, and I'm going to do a separate video on the flock cameras because people in Florida are like tearing them down, and now it's like every time one's put up, they tear it down. It is hilarious, and they say it's for your safety. I think it's more about surveillance and being able to control people. I don't think that they're going to stay up. I have a feeling that with the way people keep tearing them down, it's going to be very interesting. So I don't know. We'll have to see. Your studio looks beautiful. Thank you. Actually, this is my bedroom. I wish that I had a studio. I hope that eventually I'll have like an office where I can actually just have all my podcast stuff in my office versus in the corner of my bedroom, just because it's, it's a lot in one little space. But we work with what we got and we're okay. We haven't even been doing this a year yet for those of you that are new to the channel. So we've only been doing this since last November. You're beautiful. Keep your chin up, sweet lady. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Thank you, Nature's Nectar, for the 1 month subscription. I'm so glad that you joined. I hope you like the exclusive content that gets put on there. There's going to be more added. I'm going to try to add one video a day because I owe you guys for while I was gone with the emergency that I had to deal with at home. Peaky Blinders, thank you so much. He gifted 5 Patriotic Housewife memberships for who ever got those. I hope you guys enjoy the content. I appreciate it. It's a great way to support the channel if you can. If not, just like I say, liking and interacting with the content helps small channels grow. and helps us get better. And thank you, Sugly, for the $10 super chat. I appreciate you. So I'm going to pause those because we're going to keep going with this, and I'll read those at the end. But I just wanted to read a few of them because you guys are so kind and sweet, and I truly just, it humbles me to know that so many people care to listen to the channel. So truly appreciate it. So again, with the flock cameras, I don't know. I have to look at Utah and see if flock cameras are a thing there. I'm not really sure. I know obviously here in Florida we have them. I think pretty much everywhere has them, but I heard that like some states don't. I don't know. So it's something that I have to look into. So we are going to take a look at the footage that Diligent has shown. And the reason I want to do that is because yesterday Diligent had posted a video that a reputable attorney from Salt Lake City is submitting potential exculpatory evidence in the Tyler Robinson Charlie Kirk case. So we're going to look at that first, and then we're going to go back to the footage. And the reason I want to start with that is because it leads into everything else, which it is crazy. I just clicked on this link and it's saying that that post is gone. So hold on one second, guys, because I don't understand. So what we're going to do is we're going to play the video that he has from the receipt and him interviewing a staff member who worked at the steakhouse. I believe this is the person that served him, if I'm not mistaken, Tyler Robinson. We're going to watch that for those of you that haven't seen it. And then we're going to move on from there. And while you guys are watching this, I'm going to try to figure out what happened to this other video. Actually, let's see if this plays. Hold on. So see this? So this is the video that when I clicked the link, it was gone. But let's see if it actually plays. And we're going to read this right here. So he says, potentially exculpatory evidence in Tyler Robinson Charlie Kirk case is now submitted via official channels. A reputable attorney from Salt Lake City is submitting identities of material witnesses who 100% ID Tyler Robinson the night of 9/10/25, 8:47 to 9:55 p.m. in Panguitch, Utah, which, by the way, if he was pulled over at what they're saying, I think is like 12:30, it would be impossible for him to have been pulled over at that time because Panguitch is, I believe, like 3 hours plus away, I believe. Restaurant receipt said to belong to Tyler Robinson, along with identifying POS details, video and audio of testimony of witnesses and relevant parties, which we're going to watch after we watch this little clip. This alibi evidence for evening of 9/10 and potentially impeaches the text messages confession and Lance Twig's testimony in the case. It's why they've been freaking out. Remember when they sent that knucklehead to Candace's house to debate her, which wasn't much of a debate. He seemed to be very interested in that receipt, and he had questions about that, which had nothing to do with what they were going to debate about. The debate was strictly supposed to stay about the case and the testimony that happened during the Tyler Robinson evidentiary hearing. And he kept going back to things that were from outside the courtroom because he knew no details of what was inside the courtroom. So let's just listen to this really quick, and then we're going to head to the footage.
I mean, certified mail is probably the best way to go. Because the private processor, I'd have to get them the physical copy.
How about you send 2 certified mail, you give 1 private process server to the defense?
Yeah, we can do that.
There you go. That covers all bases.
Yeah, we'll do it.
Okay. And then if you need more copies, let me know.
Sounds good.
Thanks, Edward.
All right, man. I'm on
Appreciate you.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, certified mail is probably the best way to go. Because the private process server, I'd have to get them the physical copy.
How about you send 2 certified mail, you give 1 private process server to the defense?
Yeah, we can do that.
There you go. That covers all bases.
Yeah, we'll do it.
Okay, so Diligent was there. He was talking with him about doing that. Now we're going to go right into the receipt again. We'll just show you the picture. This is the receipt in question. Hold on. Let's go back. Why is this not letting me?
Yeah, I mean, certified mail.
They must really not want us to go through this or something. Okay, here's the receipt. Now, one of the things that was talked about was, well, Candace, why did you not verify that Tyler Robinson, this is actually his debit card? Did you call the merchant to make sure and verify? Did you call Google Merchant and make sure that is his debit card? Well, first off, she's not the police. She can't do that. They're not just going to give any person that information. But okay, Andrew. So this is the receipt. I believe more is going to come out with the receipt. And we've heard Candace talk about how she or somebody that she is talking to that is fed that has spoken with the owner of the restaurant. So we'll have to see how that's going to go. Again, this is the receipt for you guys to see.
All right.
And let's listen to Diligent question the server on that evening.
I'm here interviewing one of the employees that met, who they say it was Tyler Robinson, on the night of September the 10th, around 9 p.m. Here at Cowboys Smokehouse in Panguitch, Utah. So how long have you worked at Cowboys?
I've been here about a year and a half now.
A year and a half now?
Yep.
And were you here on the night, were you working on the night of September?
Yes, I was working here. I remembered him coming in, sitting at the bar. He ordered a steak, a couple beers.
Did you sit at the end of the bar?
Close to the end, second seat in. I wasn't the waiter who was taking his order and everything, but I did have a couple interactions with him, just trying to help out. And yeah, I heard his voice and it was unforgettable.
Unforgettable. And were you also the one that called it in to Candace?
Yes, I did send in the tip. Everything after I'd notified my boss, we reached out to the authorities. He contacted the FBI. They got our contact information, but we never heard anything from them.
You never heard back from the FBI after you reported it?
Never heard anything. And that's kind of what prompted me to send it in. It just didn't sit right with me.
And how certain are you that it was Tyler Robinson that you saw?
100%.
100%?
When I
No reasonable doubt there. No 75 to 85%, huh?
heard his voice, he was just a weird guy. And I wasn't really paying attention to my phone that day. I'd seen that Charlie had been shot, and I didn't really want to give any of my energy to it until I was done with work. And the next morning, I went to my other job, and my coworker was kind of talking to me about it. He pulled up a picture. He said I looked like I was a little shocked by it, because I recognized the face. And then later that night, or that day rather, they released a video of him getting his college acceptance letter. And when I heard his voice, it was no doubt in
Dead
my
ringer
mind that was him.
And do you know what time he left?
It was close to closing, so it was around.
What time do you guys close?
10 o'clock.
And the receipt that I have here, and I have the receipt that was used that night by him, says 9:47 on the checkout time. Does that sound about right?
Sounds about right. And I was the one who helped him check out too.
And you were the one that helped him check out? So
Yep.
you're the one that you took the card from him?
Yep.
Okay.
And that's just like I told. I took the card. I figured that would be good information for the feds to look into it. And
they never checked into it, not once?
I don't know if they checked into that. I know they got that information from my boss.
So they got the information, but you don't know, you never heard back again?
Never heard anything from them. No.
The defense, did the prosecution ever reach out to you guys to come testify or anything like that?
No one's reached out to us at all.
Has the defense hasn't reached out to you?
Nope.
No one's reached out to you whatsoever, even though you saw him that night?
Yeah, no one's reached out regarding anything to do with Tyler Robinson.
Thank you so much, man. You're a hero.
Okay. So I see comments saying you don't believe him. Why would he not show his face? I'm going to say the reason he's not showing his face, I think, is pretty evident because he's scared, rightfully so. There are a lot of things that are going on in this case that you're dealing with a lot of intimidation. You've heard of witness intimidation before. And so I understand this person seems like a young person. I don't think that, and they have every right to remain anonymous. It doesn't make the information less likely to be true. It is people's right to stay anonymous, and I don't blame this person. Will we eventually know their identity? We might. I don't know. So we will have to wait and see. Someone did say that there are 30 flock cameras on Tyler's route. I'm going to look into that and see what that's about. Again, there's flock cameras everywhere. I see a lot of comments saying flock cameras are not here to help us. I don't think they are either. I think it's meant to control and intrude on privacy. But, you know, people keep tearing them down. So who knows how long that'll last. I'm sure they're expensive to replace after people tear them down. But so we'll see where this makes it. Again, that attorney seems to have the information and was going to be getting this to the proper channels, one of those channels being the defense. We'll see. Again, we don't know. I see a lot of people saying Tyler won't be here much longer. I wouldn't be surprised. I do think he's the loose end, and I just don't have a very good feeling. The hearing is September 1st, which is next Tuesday. We will find out if this is going to trial. I think we all know that this is going to trial. What happens between now and trial, we can only imagine. We will see. So we're going to jump from this. I just wanted to show that those two things because I thought those two things were important. Now I want to jump into Diligent did a post about Officer Hull. And the reason I want to go over this is I showed you guys, because I did a video on this, about the footage in the stairwell being flipped. Now, I showed you guys this video, and he has since then released more information. Now, he was there for the hearing, as many people were, and he was not able to get into the courtroom as many people on our side were. Erica Kirk wanted to have all of her influencers, Officer Tatum, all these people in the courtroom. Well, what I learned is that when they allow one side to have so many people, the other side, meaning Tyler Robinson's side, is allowed so many people. So then you have this limited amount of public seats. Well, what I think, this is my opinion of what they did, and I kind of had a feeling this was going to happen, which is why I didn't fly out for the preliminary hearing, was because they were going to work to fill all those public seats so that a lot of independent journalists couldn't get in there, so that they could say, hey, we saw the clearest, the most beautiful 4K footage ever that was so clear. We saw his face, like we got to see his boogers and everything. Like I think they wanted to go that far. And some people got in on different days. It's good that at least one person on this side of the investigation was able to get in each day to see what was going on in that courtroom. I personally think that the lack of transparency in a case that's already so publicly scrutinized, because there's a lot of things that don't add up. It's a mistake to not allow cameras in the courtroom. I said that in a lot of instances. I believe that we pay tax dollars. We should be allowed to see what's going on. But this is how it's going to go. And we're not shocked at why. So anyway, so we're going to listen to the questioning, because he clipped this, of Officer Hull talking on the stand. And he's going to show the footage that was looked at after the fact of the hearing, and go into how that was flipped. And we're going to look at it, some other footage. Again, this is a little bit more in depth. And oh my goodness, I just accidentally took that down. So let me pull that back up. I'm rusty, guys. We haven't been live in a month. Can you believe that? For those of you that it's your first live, thank you so much for spending your afternoon with me. Truly appreciate it. I know that there's other things to do, other things going on. Life is busy. Kids are back to school. So again, I see more super chats and things and memberships. I will be reading the rest of those at the end. I don't want to keep stopping, but I do appreciate all the support for the channel. I will turn the ticker on so that, because there's a lot of people that ask for Venmos and Cash Apps and things. And so don't feel pressured to do that. I just put it up there so that I don't have to answer in the chat. It makes things easier. And we are going to jump into this footage. And again, we'll discuss this after it. So Diligent said Officer Hull caught lying on the stand about where Tyler Robinson went the morning of Charlie Kirk's you know what. Hull testified Robinson heads out of the parking garage on foot, but because they mirrored the camera, Robinson actually walks into the garage. It's all fake. So let's take a look at this. We'll blow this up so you guys can see.
All
right, and where does he go from there?
He heads out of the parking garage on foot into the campus and actually goes to the quad area of the campus. At that time, he makes contact with some representatives from TPUSA.
Like what area?
Sorry, the amphitheater is.
All right. And where does he go from there?
He heads up.
Okay, so we're gonna pull this down. And I did a video on this, but
All right, you guys.
for those of you that did not see it, this is somebody that went there. I believe it's Diligent, actually, and is talking about the mirroring of the stairwell. So it says prosecution caught mirroring Tyler Robinson's stairway camera footage. Court footage shows level 2 descending stairs on the right side of the video. In reality, the stairs are on the left. So let's take a look at this together.
Guys, we caught the feds in another lie. So this is level 3, parking level 3 at UVU, where they have Tyler Robinson coming around the corner and coming down the stairwell. There's the camera right over here. But in the Fed version of their footage, this stairwell, which is actually on the left, on their version, it's on the right. So they have completely reversed this image. And not only have they reversed the image, they have also doctored the timestamps, because if you reverse the image, the timestamps would be reversed as well. So something ain't adding up here. Here's level 2, proving that the stairwell is actually on the left. All right, you guys, we caught the...
Okay, so there's that. Now I want to scroll down because Sam Parker had done a post on this. He said they told us the first time that Maroon Shirt left the parking garage, he went to the courtyard to talk to someone with Turning Point USA. The second time he went to Chick-fil-A, also next to the courtyard. But in the first instance, he turned inward further into the parking garage, and only in the second instance did he directly exit the parking garage. So first time talk to TPUSA, we're going this way. The second time eat at Chick-fil-A, we're going to the right. Okay. And I can go back for you guys. Looks different. Okay. So I definitely wanted to show you guys that. Again, really quick side note, Sam Parker won his case against Kash Patel's girlfriend, Alexis Wilkins. She was suing him, Kyle Seraphin, and Elijah Schaefer from Rift TV. Most of them had just retweeted a meme of a honey you-know-what, and she was suing them for defamation. I don't know how sharing a meme is defamation, but with Alexis Wilkins, nothing surprises me. And specifically Sam Parker, he did not retweet the meme, but what he did do was just say, who is this girl? Where'd she come from? She's with the director of the FBI. She's flying around on the jets. What's going on here? And he was sued for defamation, but he won his case. And so I want to say congratulations to Sam Parker. I've interviewed him on the channel, and Sam is he's really great, super nice, super kind, good heart. And I know, again, I know a lot of people aren't everyone's cup of tea, and that's okay, but I'm really happy for him, and he shouldn't have had to go through that. But when you're dealing with this kind of people, this is what happens. So now we're going to turn our attention to something else that I just want to point out, because it's something that we've kind of already assumed. It's really amusing, and I love watching them tank their own company. So it's been obvious for a while, again, that Turning Point USA has lost their following. Their numbers are tanking. Not shocking. We've talked about this. You can tell that the ratio is horrible, and we can go to their channel and look at that individually as well. But, and I do want to start to pay attention to this more on a regular basis, because I guarantee you every day it gets worse. Every week it gets way worse. Every month I can't even imagine. And to watch them get up there with a straight face and carry on the Charlie Kirk show, it really is appalling. I don't know why it's so appalling to me, because liars are going to lie. Liars typically that lie all the time are decent at it. And there's some people that are better at it than others. But it really is, it's really something. So let's just take a look at this because it's comical. So Project Constitution said Turning Point USA's numbers have collapsed under Erica Kirk's leadership. The data is brutal. Average Turning Point USA YouTube views that regularly cleared 150K to 300K in mid 2025 have cratered to 20K to 35K range in 2026. June dropped from roughly 196,000 to 20,700. July fell from 328,000 to under 29,000. That's kind of a big jump, by the way, too. So we had 196,000 right here, and then it went to 300. Oh, he's going from July. Sorry. Brain fart. This is what being 37 is. I'm just kidding. The collapse tracks almost exactly with the period after Charlie's death and Erica's takeover. This is not random. While independent investigators keep asking basic questions about September 10, the organization responded with gaslighting, narrative protection, and waves of proxies sent out to attack anyone still digging. Audiences have noticed. They stopped showing up. You cannot spend a year treating legitimate scrutiny as the enemy and then act surprised when the numbers evaporate. Well, rather, when the numbers reflect your behavior. Charlie built an audience that wanted truth and receipts. The current version of Turning Point USA is watching that audience walk away in real time. The chart does not lie. So we're going to look at the chart together. So this is the chart that was posted, and it's showing you average Turning Point USA YouTube views by publication month, 2025 versus 2026. So the dark purple is 2025. The light purple is 2026. Just so that we can get an idea of where the people stand. I think majority of us know where the people stand. And we're normal average people, right? We're not the elites. So we all knew that. But I think when you actually look at this, look at how damning that is. It's really crazy. It's really crazy. And they don't want people to see how many people actually believe that Tyler Robinson is a patsy. They're doing everything they can to make you believe that you stand alone in that thinking. And if they say it enough, that you'll be convinced otherwise. And it's not working. It's not working. Clearly, because by the month, it's just getting worse. So I just want to show you guys those numbers. And the reason I want to show this too is, you know, this whole thing can be stressful. It can be frustrating because sometimes you do wonder, like, how many people actually believe this, because it's hard with the age of the internet. And so I just think it's important to show stuff like this, to show you're not crazy. You're using your brain. You're using critical thinking. You're using common sense. And despite what people say, that's never a wrong thing. And again, just you're not alone. I think it's so important to know that you're not alone and you are free to think what you want. Your feelings are valid. Your thoughts are real. You're not crazy. Just a reminder. I think we live in weird times where I think it's very encouraging to hear that and know that you're not being judged for that. So just a little tidbit that I wanted to point out. Now we're going to look at something really disturbing, and no one's really talking about this. I'm surprised it hasn't gotten more attention than what it has. I did a video recently on Turning Point is doing a documentary where they're going to do documentary on Charlie Kirk. And the production of it is being done by Mikey McCoy, allegedly, and Andrew Colvett, you know, which is not surprising. It kind of makes sense, right? Because Andrew Colvett came from reality TV with Mark Burnett, Johnny Moore, all them. So it makes sense. But I'm floored. So the Enough America tour had posted this. Okay. And Project Constitution had reshared it. He said, unbelievable. I thought this was canceled and UVU pulled out. So what changed? Did Turning Point USA get daddy Trump to threaten to pull the school's funding or something unless they cave? Turning Point USA has some nerve, beyond nerve. So the Enough America tour said, breaking, Charlie Kirk Memorial has been announced by Turning Point USA at Utah Valley University, the same campus where Charlie Kirk was killed. The decision is already sparking backlash from both sides. Some UVU students are furious the memorial is being held on campus on the same day at 4 p.m. Okay, while Turning Point Supporters are flooding the comments criticizing the choice of location. Glenn Beck and Frank Turek are scheduled to appear. I can't even imagine what their speeches are going to be. This is shaping up to be an extremely controversial event. And this is the flyer for the event. Again, it's at 4 p.m. They are going to have a in-person memorial for Charlie Kirk in the spot that he was killed. You know, that is so disturbing. But these are also the same people that recreated the tent that he was sitting in where you could take selfies and pay for the same shirt, you know? And they just have no bound, like they show no bounds. They have no boundaries. There's nothing too sleazy, apparently, for this company under the new CEO. Nothing. Slime ball. I mean, if this is the kind of stuff you're doing, is it really that shocking anymore that she associates with Andrew and Rachel Wilson? Not really. Is it really shocking that she, has Lisa Knows as an associate? Because that's an associate when they're vouching on your behalf and you're telling them to go out there and defend you. I mean, well, I mean, sure. Money's money, desperation's desperation, grift's got to grift, grieving widow's got to grieve. All normal. The first thing I thought, was every year on that day, I want to sit in the spot my dad died. My dad died on the front porch of a heart attack out of nowhere. And I have never sat on that porch. I don't even want to look at the porch. So I find it very interesting. But again, people heal differently. Everybody's way to healing, their healing journey is different. UVU is diabolical. It sure is. Amazing Mikey McCoy should attend. The same campus ? Charlie was betrayed by those closest to him. On the same campus he was killed at. That's crazy. Seems odd to hold this at UVU. Well, they don't really care. They don't really care what's odd. They don't really care about your feelings. That's evident. They just want your money. That's all they care about. But this is loving someone, y'all. This is loving someone. This is grieving normal. This is totally healthy. I just want to put that out there. I was jaw on the floor when I saw this. I really don't even know how some things surprise me anymore. I think because you think that when we look at those numbers, right, that they would turn around and go, hey, you know what? People aren't feeling it. It's not resonating with the people and the base and the majority. So like maybe we should change our approach, right? Normal people would go, we need to change this up. We need to fix our image a little bit. And they're like, no, let's just full steam ahead, plow into plummeting the rest of it. We'll just keep on doing this stuff that we know people can't stand and that makes us look like idiots more than we already do. And screw it. They think I just can't believe it. And then I know a lot of people that are like, oh, well, how are they going to continue to have funds? Well, if what's going on is what we think is going on from what we've learned from several audits and people that do audits, is they don't really need your money because they have donators, investors, people in high places, if you know what I mean. But we're going to be careful with how we talk about things because this channel is already facing a lot of challenges. I apparently have hit a nerve because I am being punished by the algo. So we're going to tread lightly here because otherwise we won't even have a channel to watch at the rate that they're going. And that's the goal, by the way. And I wanted to tell you guys that that's the goal. The goal is for them to hurt the people that they know do this for full time. And how we make money is by views, ad revenue, which come from views, super chats, memberships, and all these different things. And the whole point is to bankrupt you to where you have to go get a real job and then you can't do any of the investigating on anything anymore, whether it's the Karen Reed case or the Charlie Kirk case. That's the goal. Is they're going to back you into a wall where you have no choice but to stop. That's where this is heading. And I hate even pointing that out because some people are like, oh, well, some people feel content creators don't deserve to get paid. Well, they spend a lot of money and money for the equipment, time for the stuff they do, apps to vet. I can't vet certain things because I can't afford the apps I need on a monthly basis to do that. So I got to be careful what I say. I can't say what everyone else says. I don't have a team. I have me. So anyways, the next thing I want to point out is I found this social media manager of Turning Point USA chapter from Miami University. She had posted a TikTok talking about her experience with Turning Point USA, and they let her go. And so I want us to listen to her talk about her experience with Turning Point. Again, this is at the University of Miami. Let's listen to her in her own words about what transpired and why she's no longer the social media manager for them.
I got kicked out of Turning Point, so I'm going to expose them. For context, I was the social media manager for the Turning Point chapter at the University of Miami. We weren't even an official chapter yet, like with the school, so I didn't make any posts. I literally did nothing for Turning Point. Keep this in mind. So the straw that broke the camel's back, and mind you, I didn't even know there was a camel's back before this, but the straw that broke the camel's back was me yelling at 3 Israeli Jews on campus about the Talmud. When this happened, the school newspaper wrote 3 separate articles about me. Each of these articles literally had a new thing that I said that I didn't actually say. Like, they were literally lying about it. But one of my friends used to be the vice president for that Turning Point chapter, and she ended up leaving. And she told me that they were planning on kicking me out before any of this even happened. I'm going to name drop here. This guy, Akiva, who is a Jew from Israel, and also this girl, Ella Eden, who is a Jew from Israel, whose dad works in the Israeli government, were plotting on getting me kicked out of Turning Point. So this is a week before I yelled at these 3 Jews at a table. Basically what happened is I called them out for their disgusting Talmud, and I got in trouble for it. One of those 3 Jews was Ella Eden. Ella was literally never a part of Turning Point. She somehow spoke to our president and got a position as treasurer. Mind you, every other person was elected in the beginning of the school year. This girl, Ella, like, we randomly got this text from our president basically saying, oh, we have a new treasurer. So 2 Jews from Israel were trying to get me kicked out of Turning Point before any of this tabling thing even happened because of my TikTok. After everything happened, they were told to not speak to me, people in both college Republicans and Turning Point. And basically what these 2 Jews were saying about me was that I was too anti-Israel and too anti-Semitic, and that's not what Charlie stood for. Really? Why don't you go look at what he said about Israel 3 days before he died? And I'm going to make another video exposing University of Miami for the disgusting shit they did to me because I called out the Talmud, which talks about literal racial supremacy. Are you kidding? Fuck Turning Point, fuck University of Miami, fuck college.
We're going to stop it there because we don't want any more F-bombs. I understand the anger, but yeah, we said a lot of words in this video that we don't need no trouble here. But she's mad, and it makes sense that she is mad. I think if I was treated that way, if I was kicked out of somewhere for how I felt about something outside of that I would be mad too. Apparently, with Turning Point, you can't have an opinion other than what they want you to have. And they're going to definitely build a legacy, as they said in his memorial. They're building the legacy that they want Charlie to leave, which is whatever they want it to be, which is nothing that he was, nothing he talked about, none of his viewpoints, so on and so forth. So eventually we'll go back to her ex at some point. I want to look through more stuff, but I just wanted to show you guys that. Again, we've heard this from several TPUSA chapter leads. I've talked to several whistleblowers, people who have worked there in several different parts of Turning Point, whether, just because they've a whole umbrella of things. And the consensus is the same. The stories are similar. And it's not just one person saying that they've experienced that. So we'll leave it there. The next thing I want to turn my attention to is very important. And the reason I want to do this is, again, I want people to see the disgustingness of Turning Point towards the people that are just asking questions. So I did a video yesterday on Stu and Andrew. The reason that I did that video, I know we don't want to give Andrew Wilson view time. I totally understand that. I don't like giving him that either. The reason that I did that was because Andrew and several others are calling for people who are asking questions and podcasting on this for us to be hurt, for us to be physically tortured. Okay. Dan Bongino is saying that. I'm going to post a video on that. And that Andrew Wilson has also come out and said that Turning Point is going to sue everybody who is podcasting on this and that lawsuits are coming. So again, it comes back to talk about this and go over this stuff is you're putting yourself out there for trouble because they're going to come for people talking about this. That's very clear. So how they started doing this was a little while ago. I don't know if you guys knew a lot of this. There had been a lot of doxing going on. Okay. People could try to dox me. Have fun. You might find some credit card debt from back in the day because young and dumb in your 20s. You're definitely not going to find that I was in jail. You're not going to find anything interesting. I'm a very boring person. I'm a God-fearing woman. My parents raised me right. I just stayed out of trouble. I just minded my own business. So you could dox me all day. They probably did look up certain people, and if they couldn't find anything, they just left you alone. But anybody that they could find any little crumb on, they went crazy. Well, now it's gone to the point where the Leah Files is saying that her children were doxed. So if they can't get to you in some way, which they do, because what they do is they bog your content down to make sure your view counts are down so the information doesn't get out so that you don't make money. You're forced to go get a job outside the home and then apparently go to these kinds of levels where if you have children, now your children become the target. All of this is alleged. This is what Leah Files is saying is happening. Tyler Boyer has now blocked her. So I saw this last night and I thought this is very, very, very alarming. So she posted, so Tyler Boyer just admitted to coordinating with Sean Campbell and others to dox and harass people. You know, Tyler Boyer, that he doxed my underage children and their faces and their names. You know that he has harassed, threatened, and stalked me to the tune of over 100 posts in a few weeks. He called old employers of hers, and his methods of finding me are unclear. I called it, but thank you for admitting civil conspiracy. I had to get security, notify police, protect my children at school, take off time on social media. Discovery is about to be lit. See you in court, asshole. Now that sounds like a very angry mama bear. Now, I don't have proof that he did this, but I could tell you, judging by that is a very angry mom who is going to have somebody's ass for attempting to come after their children. That ain't going to fly. And his response was he blocked her. So he said he had posted, someone is impersonating an investigative journalist, Nero Sentry, who has been exposing a network of people coordinating attacks on Erica, Andrew, me, and others. Today, we discovered this person making a direct threat on my life, suggesting they will see me next month on 9/10/26. So he's saying that they are threatening to do something to him while he's at UVU for Charlie's apparent, I'm sure he's going to be there, memorial. First off, Tyler Boyer, you are not that important. Can we start there? He is not that important. He is not as significant as he believes he is. And again, he's not worth wearing orange or stripes for. Neither are my favorite. I don't look good in them. No one's getting the best of me doing that. And his response to her post was to block her. So what he's insinuating is the person who is doxing people, that he has no idea who this person is, but they are trying to attack the people that are attacking Erica and Andrew and others. Now, there's a lot that goes along with this. I was like trying to dig, and I'm going to have to go all the way back to make everything go in order. But I did feel it was important to show you guys that this is Turning Point USA. This is now where people who are making TikToks or talking on Instagram or coming on here and researching, doing their own independent research, sharing information, the safety of your children is now questioned. Putting someone's children's faces and names on the internet, that is Ballsy. My mom and dad always used to say, you could screw with us, but you do not screw with our kids. And I can't even imagine. And I don't think she's going to say, see you, in court and this discovery is going to be lit if she doesn't have a bunch of things on him personally. Again, they get mean. Candace goes on break and for lack of better words, shit hits the fan and the panic mode jumps in and this is what we're seeing. I also think it's interesting that if you're telling the truth, why on earth would you have to defend yourself in the way of this method of defending yourself? Again, if something doesn't have weight to it, if it's not true, you're not going to give it air. It just doesn't make sense. This is not how innocent people, Christian-like people move. Again, you want to dox me, you want to go and look things up, and it makes you feel like a better person. Well, I got news. You come in my house, you're not leaving. That's the truth. Come in this house, unwanted, don't belong here. Your mistake, not mine. I'm not worried about it. I don't go out at night. Most of the time I'm with my husband. God's going to protect me. I'm going to do what I can. I'm going to get up here. I'm going to share the information as much as I can. I'm going to expose what I can. I'm doing the best that I can. It is getting very hard. It's getting tiring. It's getting challenging. I'm a human being. Spending all these hours to research and look into things. You spend hours chasing leads down for them to go nowhere, and then you start over again, and it's like having a job that is, I don't know how much it pours back into me than it takes, and it's tiring. And I think that they bank on that. And again, I think that they know there's me, Project Constitution. There's a lot of us that do this full time, and they know how to hurt you. So hurting them is the same way, hurting their pocketbook, not giving them the views, not giving them the engagement, not donating to them. It's the same thing. The difference is I'm an average person and they're billionaires and millionaires. I have a disability where I don't want to go on disability. I just want to work from home, and that's what I'm trying to do here. So again, I went on the Stu Peters show. I put a target on my back, a bigger target than was already there. I don't think that they noticed me maybe, but I don't think they super noticed, because after that interview is when this all seemed to really take a turn. So we'll see where it goes. I'm with you guys. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. And I want to continue to spread truth. I want to continue to cover more than just this case. And we'll get into that at the end, because I want to have a TED Talk about some of the stuff that's going on, because again, I'm human. I want to discuss things, but we're going to jump into this post that Mel put up about the doxing. For those of you that don't know who Mel is, that's Village Crazy Lady. This is one of Candace's friends. Candace has talked about Village Crazy Lady a ton. I learned a lot from Mel about the FARA documents and how to look at FARA documents and figure out who is part of FARA filings, to know about foreign entities. So she put interesting. So just to clarify, is the real Sean Campbell working for you in any capacity? Because on October 10, 2025, he posted my full address, pics of my house, and private pics from my Facebook that he accessed with some kind of software that he has on X. He included the message, "How's being a coward going for you so far?" with the picture of my house. He left them up for an hour before deleting them. Not sure why you would care about this psycho claiming to be an investigative journalist being impersonated on Twitter. It really happens all the time, unless he was associated with you in some capacity. Just looking for clarification. Tyler Boyer's response was to block her. And then someone is impersonating an investigative journalist, New Century, who has been exposing a network of people coordinating attacks on Erica, Andrew, me, and others. Today, we discovered this person making a direct threat on my life, suggesting, and let's see, again, that he's going to be attacked on 9/10. So it's pretty clear where they're trying to go with this, right? So who knows who this channel is? I don't think anyone's gotten to the bottom of who this Nero Sentry is. I don't know who he is. The real Sean Campbell, apparently. When I looked through the account, and actually it's right here if we wanted to look at it, I don't think, well, I know that he works in the gym actually, but who knows? I mean, this looks like it could be him. Let's go down because he does a lot of like, was posting workout stuff. By the way, he's been in tons of X spaces with like Gary from Paramount Tactical and stuff. Like he's with that crew. That's not him. I'm trying to find where he's at. Oh, I guess this is him. Wait, if you got Sean thinks he's tough out of his post, you were terminally. Oh yeah. I guess this is him. And he's like talking about how he got dragged into this drama and like he's over here just like working out, man, and like everyone just needs to like let him be. It's weird. The whole thing is weird. It's interesting. I'm curious to see where this is gonna go because again, people are gonna probably do their best to figure out who this person is and what's really going on. So let's go back to the comments for a minute. I just want to see what you guys are writing. Sorry, I'm trying to scroll through because I know I've been talking for a little while. Hopefully you guys are enjoying what I'm covering today. Thank you, Peaky Blinders. It's been a wonderful ride. I appreciate you so much. You're one of the biggest supporters of the channel. You've done so much for the channel. It's truly, I can't thank you enough. It's beyond sweet. Whoever got those memberships, I hope you guys enjoy all the extra content that gets put up. And the good thing about being a member too is there's also a lot of older content that's there, lives that have gone on where we're talking about different parts of the investigation and things like that. So that's nice. I'm just making sure I didn't miss anything. Thank you again, SJoe75 for the membership. I appreciate you. I hope you enjoy the membership and you enjoy the content. Let's see. I just want to make sure I'm not missing anything. I'll go over the rest at the end. I was just trying to get a couple. All right. Thanks for bringing info from X. I am not going on there. Yeah, X is very toxic. I really don't like going on there. And I'll be honest, you guys. And I wanted to talk about this a little bit really quick, just because I'm a human being. And, everything on social media always looks perfect. People look like they have perfectly happy lives. And it's not that I don't have a happy life, but I am going through things. The anniversary of my dad, my uncle passed away. There's a lot of things going on. I have 2 autoimmune disorders. Life is lifing. And so, I've had people leave nasty comments about the content. If it's not Charlie Kirk. Oh, I don't care about Tupac, like da-da-da, like really rude. And I just want a PSA for those of you that are new to the channel that are in the live or that watch this live later, which is, this is my channel. Charlie Kirk is not the only person that matters. He's not the only, Tyler Robinson is not the only trial that matters. There are other things that go on in the world that matter. And I am not going to talk about just trending topics. So if I'm talking about something on this channel, it is something that I care about and I have every right to talk about. So if you see videos that don't interest you, I have people that are like, oh, well, you're posting on this, I'm unfollowing. Don't announce your departure. Just unfollow. Okay? Because eventually the Charlie Kirk stuff is going to come to an end, right? Either how that's going to pan out, I don't know, but eventually it is. And so I have to also cover other things. The thing with Nolan Wells, this poor young boy who's dead and they're trying to figure out what happened to him, that deserves attention. Tupac, majority of us, I mean, I'm 37, so Biggie, Tupac, everyone was dying to know what happened to Tupac. That's been a question for 30 years. I'm interested in it. You don't have to watch what I post if it doesn't interest you. Ignore. Save your 30-second ignorant comment and take it elsewhere because I'm not a doormat. I'm not the person that you get to talk to like shit because you're miserable. You're going to be blocked. You're going to be deleted. The mods watch the stuff. If your comment's deleted, it's because it's nasty. Again, we come here, we can disagree, but you're going to disagree in a respectful way. And it sucks that I have to give these kinds of talks because we're grown adults. We shouldn't have to do this, but I've learned in the last couple of years that there are adults that never grew up. They never grew out of the petty phase. And so I have to give these every once in a while to the newcomers that think they're going to come in here and they're just going to spew negative, nasty things and walk all over people. And that's not how this channel works. There are channels that grow faster because they talk about trending things. They pretend to care about something. They do one episode on it. It doesn't get the views and then they stop talking about it. You know what that means? If they do 1 or 2 episodes and they stop, they didn't care about the topic. So they should have never did a disservice to the topic and started talking about it anyway. That's not the kind of channel I am. If I'm talking about something, it's because I genuinely care about it. And I understand that you're not going to like every single case that I talk about. That's okay. Charlie Kirk will stay in the realm, but every video is not going to be Charlie Kirk and Tyler Robinson. Again, we have kids that are killed, all kinds of things that go on. Those victims deserve justice just as much as Charlie Kirk. So I just wanted to point that out. I'm done with that part. I just wanted to point that out. Again, majority of our channel, our community is so supportive and so kind and encouraging. But I just want to lay the law down of, if you're new here, you're going to find out, because you'll be gone as fast as you came in. I always tell people I want to grow my following, but I will grow it slower by building a healthy environment on the channel, as healthy as I can get it, because it's the internet's nasty. I'll take longer doing it and block people over trying to do this faster and have a bunch of arrogant people in here causing trouble. Not going to happen. So, and there are bots and things that go on, so you never know. But I'm this is not a popularity contest. I'm not here to climb the social ladder to get to the top. I'm here to put in the work, earn the respect, and grow my platform based off my own hard work and me being an authentic, genuine person, not fake, phony, false, you know? So, oh my goodness, this just came in. No way. Look at what I just stumbled across. This is actually perfect to go into right now. So Project Constitution just posted this, and this is funny, you guys. This is so funny for what we were talking about. Oh man. See what I'm saying? Breaking, Turning Point USA, this is Project Constitution, just named their tour Love It or Leave It, then booked Ben Shapiro as their headliner. Read that poster again. Turning Point USA is putting Ben Shapiro on the marquee at Texas and Iowa like he is their heir. This is the same Ben Shapiro who spent the last year treating Charlie's final questions as a problem to be managed, not a friend to be mourned. Remember, he was going to pick up the bloody mic. He said that like the same day. They did not book a guest. They installed the man who wanted Charlie's lane closed and to be Charlie, probably because he's like 5'3", and just... Ugh. They installed the man who wanted Charlie's lane closed, and they did it under Charlie's logo. Then look at the rest of the slop. Erica Kirk is headlining Grand Canyon. Nick Shirley is on the Cal Poly date. The same cutouts who shouted down investigators, sold the official story, and punished anyone still asking what happened on September 10th are now the product. That is not a tribute tour. That is a replacement tour. And they named it Love It or Leave It. That is not a slogan Charlie would have put on a student debate. That is a threat. Love their rewrite or get out of the movement. Charlie sat his critics down and argued. This poster tells you to swallow it or leave. So there's our answer, guys. They don't care. Right there. They do not care. They might as well have come out and stood on a stage and flipped all of us off. Think about that. Love it or leave it. Love it or leave. I mean, that's classy, I gotta say. Real patriotic, real Christian-like, real, we appreciate, the support. We appreciate the donations. We appreciate the merch sales. Yeah, wow. You cannot make this crap up. You can't make it up. And we were all just talking about earlier, like, why do they keep on doing the things they do? They have to know how disliked they really are. And what did I say? I said, they might know and just not give a crap. Like, they might look at all of this and go, yeah, I don't care. Because again, they're behind donors and the elites. And so they don't really care whether you donate or not, because your money might probably, not that they don't like it, but it doesn't matter. It's not what's keeping them afloat. You follow what I'm saying? So we just got our answer. Isn't that amazing? Love it or leave it. Screw you guys. We don't need you. Really, really, really nice. So the next thing I'm going to show you guys is something crazy. So my husband, you guys all know him. He's in here a lot with modding and stuff. And he sends me things that he finds all the time about the Charlie Kirk stuff. And, you know, to see if I didn't see it yet, maybe I'll share it on the podcast, whatever. He's always trying to help out. And he had found this clip on Instagram. I'm trying to find what the clip was. The blonde patriot might have said it. That might be her name. Oh, no. I wanted to make sure that I have her name right, but I don't know if I accidentally lost this somehow. But anyways, I had it pulled up on the Charlie Kirk show. So on the Charlie Kirk show, September 16th, 2025, they were talking with Jack Posobiec. It was Blake Neff. And I think that was Tyler Boyer that was sitting there. Pretty sure, if my memory serves me right. And they said what Mikey is. And you guys, we're going to listen to this. Again, I think it was Blonde Patriot. I have to figure out who it is. I feel so bad. I'm going to go back and look while we play this. But we're just going to play this part of the clip where you guys can hear them say it. And I want you guys to catch this. They're talking about Mikey McCoy and who Mikey was for Charlie. Again, this is only 6 days after Charlie died. This is still on the Charlie Kirk show under their lives. I'm actually going to go at a later time and I'm going to break this video down because there's a couple things that are very not it here. So I want to make sure that we do a deeper dive into this. But I want you guys to hear what he says about Mikey McCoy because this was in a clip. She reacted to it. She was like, "What is this?" And I was like, "Is that real?" Because with AI, I hate AI. So I went and looked because I didn't want to share it from a clip because I just want to make sure that I'm showing you guys it from the actual footage of theirs.
It's not like a vitamin where
Again, I just think it's about making sure that it's obvious it's not AI or made up. If I can find things, I always like to show from the original source. So let's listen to, it's going to be about a minute after I start the clip and listen to what they had to say about Mikey. So let's go ahead and pull this up. We got it. And we'll see what you guys think.
We should play Mikey too. I think Mikey did a great job. Yeah, let's get those clips. So, which do we want to do first? Do you think?
Well, if we have, I think we have.
Let's do. We have Mikey ready to go.
Yeah, we have Mike.
But we'll pivot back to this.
Fox. Let's play
85.
85.
Let's do 85, please.
Driving him to the airport, he was speaking at your dad's church, and you said, "I'm thinking about going to college," and he said, "Don't go to college." Why was that?
Charlie had a knack of telling you what to do, not asking you. And so the first time I met Charlie, I drove him and his then girlfriend, Erica, to the airport. And he grilled me on Aristotle, American history, Plato. And when I dropped him off at his terminal, he gets out of the car. He goes, "I don't want you to go to college. I want you to come work for me at Turning Point USA." And so I took a day to think about it and I did it. And the story's the same with his wife, Erica. When he met her for the first time, he was interviewing her and he told her, he said, "I don't want to hire you. I want to date you." And so it's the best 6 years of my life that I spent under the tutelage of
That's really flattering, right? It's about to be said here soon.
Charlie and learning from him.
Yeah.
Right here.
So for people who don't know, that's Mikey. He was Charlie's chief of staff. I suspect he spent more time with Charlie than anyone who wasn't Erica or his children over the past years.
And he was also there that day.
He was there. I was standing right next to him when it happened. And
yeah, Mike.
I don't want to say more about that moment.
No, I'm just establishing.
We brought Mikey in, and he was so young as a Charlie's assistant and handler, and has been around one-on-one with Charlie.
Did y'all hear it? Chat, let me know if you heard it. What did he just say? Did you guys catch it? Mikey was what? Excuse me? I thought I hallucinated, actually. We're going to roll it back for a second.
He was there. I was standing right next to him when it happened. And
yeah, Mike.
I don't want to say more about that moment.
No, I'm just establishing.
We brought Mikey in, and he was I mean, so young as a Charlie's assistant and handler, and
Mhm. Can you imagine? Can you imagine? And what are they going to say? Oh, well, that means that like he helped Charlie out. Like he was like, you know what I mean? He kept him organized. He kept him like on the path or like focused on his daily activities or whatever. That's what they're going to come at that with. But I never, if I was ever someone's assistant or in charge of their schedule, would be like, I'm their handler. What? Could not believe 6 days after this happened with Charlie that was said publicly on the Charlie Kirk show. Wild. Wild. So again, I will find the clip again and I have to put in there who it was that originally had, done the clip of this, and then I had to go dig because it didn't say what day this was from. So I went back to their Charlie Kirk show and I started digging through things and I went off what Blake Neff was wearing because I was like, I have to figure out like where this is from and I want to listen to, the whole show. And so I started to listen to some of it. I had to stop because I've been trying to record content for you guys as well. Again, this is all research. It takes time. That's an hour-long podcast I have to listen to and break down to see what else is going on. But again, interesting verbiage. I don't think that's normal. Just my opinion. Yeah, cross-examined supposed to be non-political. Yeah, well, look at Rob McCoy, who stands up in church and just talks about Candace Owens the whole time. So there's a lot of things that shouldn't be going on that are. So we are going to now, really quick, I want to take a look at where is it? The Department of War getting involved in this entire Charlie Kirk saga. Andrew Colvett is such a piece of work, which we already knew, but he really is a gem in itself. I mean, Blake Neff is just a peon, but Andrew he's a snarky, cocky, arrogant dude. All right, so this is Sam Parker, but just an FYI, if Andrew Colvett and Turning Point USA are collaborating with Data Republican and the Department of War, the DOW is the one driving that bus, which basically means Turning Point USA is actually now a military op. So Andrew Colvett had tweeted this. Wow, thank you, Data Republican, for doing this. This thread exposes how Candace and her ilk have created the requisite permission structure for some lunatic to try and kill Erica. So, and then what was said was Data Republican had posted Candace Owens on Erica Kirk in her own words. Candace yesterday pre-spun a report she hadn't read, calling it Zionist, and that was like a whole thing, I guess. Well, here we go. Again, anybody who is questioning things, and here's the funny part is they blame Candace. Like, oh, well, Candace is going to get someone hurt. Candace is going to get someone hurt. I don't believe that something fishy is going on because Candace told me to think this way. I am believing my own eyes and ears based off of what I have seen, what I have found. And again, just because people don't speak about things right away doesn't mean that they didn't find them. I had found information about Fort Huachuca and Brian Harpool's Integrity Solutions being, 11 minutes apart in the very beginning. And I didn't talk about it because in the background, I was trying to put all this information together because I wanted to present it as like this big package. And then you get chasing down other things, you get other information. And again, all that takes time to build something together. And then by the time you get something built, sometimes next, someone comes out with that and you're like, oh no, because someone's chased down what you were chasing down. So then you're like, scratch that, let's start over. It's a lot of digging. But my whole point is to say that to blame Candace, and this is what they're already telling us what it seems like they're going to do. They really want somebody to be stupid enough to do something to one of these people, which again, I would never do. And I don't encourage that. I think it's okay to dislike people. It's never okay to hurt people. I don't care what the reasoning is. unless self-defense, if your life depends on you defending yourself. But I think they're teeing up for something to happen, and they're going to turn around and they're going to blame every single person that is talking about the issues with this case. How else how else am I supposed to interpret this? Because that's just what it looks like. And then you got them, people are being doxxed, and Andrew Wilson is flat out coming out and saying that we're going to be sued, and so on and so forth. I mean, how else are you supposed to look at that? Again, this is getting very nerve-wracking on a daily basis, and it's starting to get actually really aggravating, to be honest with you. I want to look at another post on this Department of War situation. So again, Data Republican had this post. Let's see. So this is the whole post, the original, and he had a picture of Candace. And then what Village Crazy Lady had to say, Mel, according to Data Republican, she started working for the Department of War in July. And what do you know? Her first big thread after 4th of July was a full-scale attack on Candace Owens over Erica Kirk, featuring that NCRI report that claimed Candace was inciting violence against Erica. The one pumped by Andrew Colvett. Is the Pentagon running propaganda operations against American citizens on behalf of EK or TPUSA? You tell me what you guys think. Again, I just want to present certain things to you. You guys make your own judgments and your own opinions. Form your own opinions. I am not here to tell you how to think or feel. It's not my job. My job is to just share information and point out what I think is a little weird. We're going to look at one more post that Sam Parker posted on this entire situation. I like getting different perspectives on it. He said, so let me get this straight. The Department of War is running a multi-organization PSYOP on Candace Owens and the investigation into the offing of Charlie Kirk. And this is supposed to convince us that the you-know-what itself wasn't a military you-know-what. Right. So act extremely weird and odd. And then go, why is everyone looking at me crazy? Why is everyone asking these kinds of questions? Well, what else would you expect with this kind of behavior? And someone point out to me in what situation this has ever happened like this. I can't think of one. I may be crazy. Now I'm not talking about like JFK and all that stuff. I'm talking about in today's day and age and any investigation and anything. When has anything ever gone on this way? I can't think of one. Let's see what the comments say. So Anna Escobar, personally, just my own guess, that 4th of July meeting with Colvett, Manson, Hegseth, and Adelson got them a new PR strategy. Can only imagine. That was the delivery, the final coordination meeting. Let's see. Again, this is not my feelings of things. I'm reading through comments that are opinions. Yeah. So, I mean, what is everyone supposed to think when this is what's being spewed? And then, I did the video on the Dan Flood and Charlie Kirk text messages. By the way, Candace said they were between those two. And why was Andrew Wilson given those and privy to them when he was in part of the conversation? She asked Erica Kirk to acknowledge that, but that's not going to happen. So, because we don't get those kinds of answers. And then to go along with the DOW stuff, because this I happened to see was, let's see. Uncle Tom, he was like, is this why Candace was stonewalled on her FOIA request for the WHCA dinner? I still want to know why the Secretary of War was involved in the promotion of Erica Kirk, their emotional asset. So that's weird. That whole dinner and her running out and then like her photo shoot looking like she just got married was weird. All of it was weird. Yeah, Marilyn Monroe's death is interesting. I love Marilyn Monroe. So, yeah, sorry, I was reading some of the comments. People were making me laugh. So, again, I'll read the super chats at the end. I see them that they're coming in. I did put in the chat because we're watching things and going over things. Thank you for the Cash Apps. I've gotten a few. And so I can never say who they're from because the names don't match anybody in the chat. So I'm not going to give people's names out. But okay, so how are you guys feeling in the chat about what we're talking about? Do you guys want to keep going for a few more minutes? I'm trying to think of anything else that I set aside. I tried to set aside enough to go over some of this main stuff. Again, there's some things that I really want to save for independent videos as well, because some stuff would be nice to just, cut out from all of this. And some of this stuff probably could also be individually gone over. I'm trying to find this. Okay. I did a video on this, but I'm just going to show a snippet just because I have to show you guys what crazy people we're dealing with. But I did a video on this, and I there's other information in there, but we'll just do like a small snippet. We won't listen to the whole minute because it's horrible. His mouth is disgusting. But again, he's not calling for violence, right? Not one person on this side has called for anybody to do anything bad to anyone at TPUSA or anyone in that direction. I cannot say the same for the other side.
Absolute fucking lunatics sending her emails. You did it. Comments, tweets. Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you. Go fuck yourself.
Christian like, right? Christian like, we're miserable. We're demonic. Dan, where are your eyeballs? Where are they? What happened? Are you in there, Dan? Let us know. Did you have a lobotomy? What happened? Are you in there, Dan? Because this isn't the Dan Bongino from years ago. What's going on here? We're demonic scum.
You demonic fucking scum.
Keep blinking a million times, Dan. Keep blinking. It's going to make what you're saying. It's really going to make everything, sink in. And we're really going to be afraid of you and take you seriously. I'm shaking in my boots over here like you mean business every time you say F you and blink a million times. Maybe he needs help. Maybe the amount of blinking is to get help.
I hate what just happened. I wish ill on no one, and everyone should restrain their emotions from the other side because they are not on our side. Everyone. Once you go down the road of violence, there's no turning back. There's always someone stronger than you, man. Always. There's a whole lot of people stronger than me. But I'm sorry if the language distracts from you, but I can think of no other New York way to say it than fuck.
Okay, we're going to stop it. So he's going to say F you. We deserve to be tortured. And the funny thing is that how many seconds before that, Dan literally said he's not calling for violence. So I have a question. When you say that people deserve to be physically tortured, that's not calling for violence? Are we on the same planet as these people? Are we living in the Truman Show in like the Twilight Zone? What is going on? You say you're a Christian. Andrew Wilson's a Christian. His wife's a Christian. Look at their mouth. Look at how they carry themselves. There's no way. I'm not saying that Christians don't make mistakes. I'm not saying that Christians don't ever swear or that we don't ever say things we shouldn't or do things we shouldn't. We do. We're sinners, period. But as a Christian, I definitely carry myself better than that. I watch my language. I pray that I have control over my temper. I pray that I wake up in a better mood tomorrow. I pray that I do better the next day. I'm not always going to measure up to what I should because I'm a human. But that's not trying. That's not having self-control. That's not wanting to be a decent person. That's not wanting to be a Christian. None of that is okay. Dan got out of the FBI, in my opinion, because Dan knows exactly whatever he knows, and he did not want to be a part of that. And he thought, what, coming back to podcasting and talking to people like they're trash and like they're stupid and they're blind and dumb and deaf, that you were going to bully people into voting for a certain side when both sides are disgusting, both sides are horrible. It's not just one side over the other. I'm a conservative. I vote conservative. I believe in conservative values. That ain't conservative, and I don't want to associate with that. So if you thought going back to podcasting to save the conservative movement, that you were going to talk like that and behave like that, that was going to draw people into our side, you're stupid. Bottom line. And I don't want to be associated with that. And if that's what the conservative movement stands for and how they talk and how they treat people, I'm good. I'm good. But y'all are worried about elections, right? We got a lot of problems here. We got a lot of problems here. 14 seconds before, he must have amnesia. Maybe he's got dementia now. I don't know. He can't remember what he said 14 seconds before that. We got a lot of problems. And the man's blinking. His eyeballs are going to fall out. What's going on there? I don't know. I don't know. All I know is he's mentally unwell. That's a definite. You can't tell me otherwise. And again, people say they sent him back into the podcasting world to help with the midterm elections. How is that going to help with the midterm elections? I thought you get more bees with honey than vinegar, but I guess that's not Dan Bongino's approach. It's you're too stupid to comprehend anything. Listen to me. Sit down, you little peasant. It's crazy. He is a coward. He's horrible. I would be... I don't know. Like I said, he blames his marriage. Like, oh, I have to get back because of my marriage. My wife wants me home, blah, 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 blah. No, Dan, you probably know too much and you don't want to be involved in it when everything comes crashing down. So you distance yourself. But no one's buying that. That's my opinion. That's what it looks like to me. And then you come back with a shit ass attitude. Sorry, I can't think of like a better way to put that. And then think that that's going to like turn everybody around and make everyone do what you want. You're brain dead. You're lost. You're confused. The days of you bossing people around and telling people how to think and feel, those days are over. No one's going to tolerate that. Keep going with this way of treating people and this like plan of attack, and you're going to find out where that gets in the elections. Then again, everything will probably be rigged anyway. Let's go ahead and look at Candace's ex. And the reason I want to look at some of this stuff is because she's been posting like she always does when she's on vacation. I know that she spends time, again, she takes a week off so that they can put together their shows and they can continue to research and so on and so forth, probably talk to, whistleblowers and so on. So it makes sense, but she always is on social media, at least trying to keep up with what's going on. So let's just like run through her stuff. I think it's a good way to end. I also have a couple other things I want to share that are not Turning Point related, but I think that they're good things to put out there for people in general. And I just always want to leave on a good note and put out, something nice into the world, because this stuff is not nice. And right now, I think a lot of us are, whether we admit it or not, we're sad. We're troubled. Things don't look good. I think we all are a little bit fearful and worried. We're not supposed to be, but it's natural and human to feel that way. And I've been trying to spend a little bit less time, scrolling Instagram and X, because it's toxic and it doesn't do anything good for your mental, especially when you're already going through a lot at home. And I'll just say, like, I have family stuff where my family's like falling apart a little bit. My dad really, just like any dad is the head of household. And now that he's gone, the family's a little bit of a disarray, and I'm really sad at what's going on. I'm praying about it every day, and it's really got to me. And then you add in the negative comments, and then you add in the nastiness on social media, and it put me in a little bit of a bad mindset yesterday. And so I know that if I'm feeling that way, that you guys are probably feeling like that, and you have your own things going on. And I want, if anything comes out of this podcast, I just want to know that I had helped somebody in a positive way, whether it's an autoimmune person that's newly diagnosed, or somebody who's just going through the loss of a parent, or, you know, feeling just down and out and like life is beating them up, that I helped. So I'm going to try to always, and I do always try to end our lives on something that's pleasant and encouraging. So anyways, she had posted, why won't Turning Point USA publicly acknowledge the alleged text message leak between Charlie to Dan Flood? This is the text that Andrew had released that I had done the video on. And also, I wanted to say, and I did in the video too, is remember during Sean Ryan, Brian Harpool said that he never got a text message like that. So it had to be Dan Flood. So it's all confusing. The contradictions and the lies are crazy. Andrew Wilson is not a party to the text messages, as he did not know Charlie at all. Can Erica Kirk or Andrew Colvett confirm their authenticity? If not, the public is right to assume they are completely fake. Again, when are they going to come out and publicly own this dude and say, yeah, we sent him. He's affiliated with us. Yeah. They don't want to do that. It's crazy. And it does not look like they responded. Now, Blake Neff had a response for that. They don't need the texts after the internet clocked them as fake. Blake Neff just posted that Turning Point USA doesn't even need the September 9th text because Charlie already talked about the dangers. Let's see. The dangers of the violent left on Bill Barr. Translation, the plan blew up, and now they're walking it back, of course. So Blake Neff basically thinks there's, right here. They don't need the texts. The amount of evidence doesn't matter, though, because Candace and the rest are not operating in good faith, and as a result, evidence is irrelevant to what they say. AKA, they probably don't have it. That's how I take that. Again, Candace is the blame for everything. But blame her for global warming at this point, because they will blame her for anything and everything. She has the power to control how everyone else thinks and feels about things. I mean, she's powerful. That's incredible. She also, so Tyler Boyer had posted strangle your, you know what, while, so they were talking about this whole case is everything with Lindsay Clancy. I think is what he was talking about. $1 million, lose your husband and father of your children, and carry an organization with millions of followers on your back that recruits and registers young patriots, a lifetime of harassment. Same people. No, not the same, Tyler, but we wouldn't expect anything less from you. She said you guys sold 50,000 t-shirts at the event of the century. As Erica walked out to Sparklers, you raised $40 million in one night at Mar-a-Lago as Erica was photographed over his red substance mic. It's possible to disagree with fundraisers for Lindsay Clancy and also think Turning Point USA sit one out entirely. Yeah, they probably should sit this one out. I don't think that's the hill they should die on. I don't think that's the point they should make. I also have my own opinions on the Lindsay Clancy thing, and I'll go over that a separate time because that has caused a lot of arguing. There's a lot of people who apparently just don't get it. It goes like right over their head. And I'm convinced at this point that, I've said it before, we're at a very weird time in the world, and it's disturbing. So we're going to go to this not funny, but like, I was glad I saw this at the right time. So right now, a lot of you have seen and heard, that there's a lot of people talking about the end of the world and, end times are here. God's coming for his people, which yes, God is going to come for his people. And we all know that the end is probably near. Do I know that it's going to be in my lifetime? I don't. I kind of hope it's not. I would like to live a long life. But, to be absent from the body is to be present with the Lord. And that's not the worst place to be. So, but I'm in no rush. Okay. But, there's a lot of fear mongering going on. There's a lot of people run out and get water, do this, do that. And yes, while there are things going on, it's never bad to be prepared in case something were to happen. I'm never going to say that. Sorry, I'm going to adjust the way I'm sitting because my back is driving me nuts. So what I was getting at is it's never bad to be prepared. And I always would encourage people to be prepared because it's better to have something and not need it than to need something and not have it. I fully believe that. However, I think it's important to remember that we are supposed to give our worries to God. We're supposed to not be anxious and worried. And at the end of the day, it's all God's will. It's all in his control. There's nothing we can do. Worrying is not going to change whatever's about to go on. The Bible tells us how we're supposed to live. And this is a really good reminder of how we should be living. And I needed this yesterday when I saw this. I needed this so bad. So it says, it's not don't think about the end of the world. It's don't let the end of the world consume you. And I think that's important. And it also is don't let all of this negative stuff to distract you from the important thing, which is we need to be focusing on where we're going, not this world that's like it goes by in the blink of an eye. It's a vapor. And so it's important to focus not on all this negative stuff 24/7, but to be present with your families and your friends and live your life. I'm going to leave it at that, but we're going to listen to this video.
Who is in you is greater than the one who is in
Leo doesn't
the world. It's already finished. Jesus reminds us in Matthew that none of us can add an hour to our life by worrying. Even finishing that chapter with, therefore, do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will worry about itself. Each day has enough trouble of its own. I notice the progression here. There's going to be wars. There's going to be persecution, false teachers, antichrist. Yet Jesus repeatedly says, do not be afraid. Do not worry. Do not be alarmed. Those commands appear over and over throughout the Gospels for a reason. And if there's one verse to encapsulate it all, it's Jesus saying, in this world you will have trouble, but take heart. I have overcome the world. Jesus never promised the absence of trouble. He promised his presence through it. So the goal of biblical prophecy was never to produce anxious Christians. It was to produce faithful ones. So Lord, I pray we don't spend so much time trying to predict tomorrow that we forget to trust you today.
I think it's completely correct. Don't let the worry of tomorrow and next week and what's going to go on take the joy and the beauty out of your life today. Right? I don't want to sound corny, but every day's a gift, right? So we need to be making sure that we are grateful for the things we do have, your health being number one, because without that, nothing else matters. And yeah. So again, guys, please watch your mouth in the chat. You will be blocked. So if you guys are not going to watch the mouth and be respectful, you're getting blocked. I'm only going to say it once. The next comment, I will remember the names. The next comments I see on posts or anything, you're out of here. Not every church is bad. Not every pastor is bad. Not every president is bad. Not every congressman is bad. Stop generalizing people. Stop stereotyping one specific anything. That's not good at all whatsoever. So again, there's good and bad in everything. That's life. It's never good to generalize anything. So I wanted to show you guys that. I wanted that to be a reminder because I truly just felt overwhelmed by life, the things you see on the internet, the way people handle themselves, family drama, which never ends, especially after big things happen in a family and big life changes happen. I think it does. And I don't know. It just really, yesterday was a day where it just hit me and I had to find myself in my Bible because I was just not feeling myself. And even though today I really don't feel myself, I don't know that I feel 100% better. I'm a little bit better, but I'm trying to still show up, let you guys know that it's okay to feel this way. You're not the only person feeling this way, in case you need to hear that. It's human. It's normal. And it's okay. It's okay for today to suck. It's okay to say right now sucky. It is. There's a lot of things that aren't going so great right now. But there's also a lot of wonderful things. For as many times as my life's been down, there's been some really great highs. And that's just the road of life. And it's going to continue to be that way. We were never told that it was going to be this like straight, narrow path. If anything, we were told that there's going to be trials and tribulations. There's going to be ups and downs. I think if you're a Christian, there's going to be more ups and downs and trials and tribulations. I just think that's part of it. Unfortunately, but we're told that that's going to happen. So I just kind of expect it. You're going to be tested more than not. So we'll start going through some of the super chats here in a minute. I just want to make sure if there's anything else I want to share with you guys. So again, I want to just quick go over the what the plan here is on the channel. So I'm going to be covering the Tupac trial. I am behind in creating content on it because those are 8-hour trial days and there's a lot of information. So I just posted this morning day 2 and 3. Today I'll record day 4, 5. I have to watch day 7 and then I can record 6, 7. So if you're interested in that, those are going to be available. Again, I understand it's not corruption. I think that it's very interesting. It's always interested me. I just saw a chat. Would Dolly Parton say, I beg your pardon, never promised you a rose garden? Exactly. I was devastated that Dolly Parton died. I was in shock. I did not know that she had cancer, but she didn't even say anything, I think, until they said 2 days before. So it's so sad. It's so sad. I liked Dolly. We used to go to Dollywood. Dollywood was always so much fun. If you guys haven't been to Gatlinburg, Tennessee, it's really fun. Dollywood's fun. Let's see again. Okay. So that was really sad. I was really shocked. Really, really, really shocked. Let's see. I'm 46 years old and I remember when that happened like it was yesterday. I have a photographic memory. Yeah, it was crazy. And what's interesting with this trial is I think it is going to lead into the Biggie Smalls stuff because they brought in an investigator that originally was looking into the Biggie Smalls case. And remember, like the ATF, the FBI, the homicide units, I mean, every agency is involved in this because of the drug trafficking and all kinds of stuff that was going on. It's really interesting and it brings in all these different aspects. And so, again, this is a question that people have had for 30 years. This is a big deal. To me, again, it may not be a big deal to everybody. And if it's not, that's okay. Don't watch the video, you know? But for people to, I don't know, insult the channel over the fact that you're covering a case that they're not interested in. It's like, okay, well, if I covered everything that just interested other people and didn't interest me, we wouldn't be here. So I sobbed when Tupac died and thought I was going to solve it. A lot of people were devastated. It was, and Biggie was 6 months behind him. So yeah, it's really sad. I'm sad about Dolly. I've never lived in a world without Dolly or Ozzy. I loved Ozzy Osbourne. My dad and I danced at my wedding to Ozzy Osbourne because him and I were big old rock people. And so I actually, I don't even know how many of you guys know this, but I listen to old rock more than I listen to anything. So my dad and I said, when we were looking for a song to dance to, I said, well, let's dance to something that's like truly us. Like, I don't want to just dance like a daddy-daughter song that everyone else does. Like, I want it to really be symbolic of like dad and I. And so we danced to Changes by Ozzy Osbourne. So, and now I can't even listen to the song without bawling. So I try to avoid it, which is sad. But I was, Ozzy Osbourne was wild, but I genuinely think I don't think he was a bad person. Enjoyed this live. Nice to meet you guys. See you next time in the chat, all the way from Wales, UK. Hello, hello. Thank you for being here. I'm so happy that everyone is enjoying it. Let's see. Again, I have to go back and read super chats. I was trying to get through some of the other comments. Are those texts positive evidence, especially when the prosecution hasn't displayed any evidence? And going on vibes and dreams. Oh, Pickles said they were real. Oh, yeah. Okay, checks. Yeah. I'm like, what's negative evidence? What's negative evidence? So it's not evidence. What is with this positive evidence, negative evidence? I don't even know. Positive evidence. It's just evidence. I don't know. He's so stupid. You can't fix it and you can't argue with it. Let's see. Yeah, it would have been nice to go to his farewell tour. My husband and I, we always travel to see Metallica. We've done Metallica's tour, like their double, because they do 2-day events. We've done several. And we've done them in different cities, which is fun. We always have so much fun. We've done Def Leppard, Motley Crue, Journey. My dad really liked Lynyrd Skynyrd a lot. Like whenever I hear Simple Man or Freebird, I it's very hard. Those were like his songs. I don't want to get teary-eyed, so I don't want to talk about it. But yeah, Lynyrd Skynyrd, but that's the original band doesn't exist anymore, so. I actually really like Phil Collins too. I wish I hope that I think he's really not doing so well health-wise, so we'll see. So just reading a couple more comments, then we'll hit the super chats. And then again, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do lives every day the rest of this week. They'll be at the same time. We'll start at 3. And what we might do is maybe we'll talk about several different topics throughout the live versus just like one topic. You guys let me know in the chat what you guys think. But I think that might be the best way to go. It just depends on when it comes to Turning Point and stuff, if we have enough that we can throw in a live and make a live out of it. But I do want to do more in-depth coverage. So what I might do is do a little bit Charlie Kirk, a little bit of the Tupac trial, because in the videos that I'm doing in the feed, I don't want to make them too long, but it's difficult because you have 8 hours of court. So it's kind of hard. But I want to go over I want to show some of the testimony because Mob James was wild on the stand. If you guys haven't looked that up, his testimony, I've never seen a witness act like that on the stand. He was crazy. I was floored. So I would love to go over more of that in detail. So we might do like a little bit of this, a little bit of this, a little bit of this. The Lindsay Clancy thing, I think is I have a lot of opinions on. Kristen got me onto Nolan Wells. I knew about the case, but I wasn't following it super closely. But Kristen was like, you have to look into it. You have to look into it. There's something going on here. There's something going on here. And now I'm like trying to play catch up. And I wish I just would have followed really closely throughout the whole thing because it would have made it easier. Because now I'm trying to like backtrack and go through every detail, which is harder. But I might probably start covering that because there's weird stuff there with the cell phone and the parents. And I got questions. And then it's interesting too because Nolan Wells' friends reached out to Officer Tatum to talk to him and give him like the phones to show the phones with the texts. And it's weird. I'm like, since when are we reaching out to Officer Tatum to prove anything along those lines? I mean, it was weird. He was on Nancy Grace. Nancy Grace is a hard watch for me. She's a lot, but she interviewed Officer Tatum and I don't know. It's just funny to see him on there, but he's been reached out to for the Nolan Wells case by some of the kids and the families. And so he's been involved in that, which again is interesting. For members only, I did a video on Fauci and his pleading the fifth. And there's also going to be a second video on him because there's more going on with that. There'll be a video on the Alex Jones, Sandy Hook situation because there's some things that have come up with that recently. What else? I'm trying to think of what else. Brian Koberger, there's some interesting things going on with him that are shocking and disturbing all in the same thing. So there'll be that. Trying to think. Again, I want to start covering the Nolan Wells case. I definitely want to continue to cover the Tupac trial. Tupac trial, by the way, can we just talk about the fact that they said what they're guessing, how long all the testimony, like between the prosecution and the defense's case is going to take like 3 weeks, they're thinking. Kind of crazy. I wonder if they're going to have Suge Knight actually come into the courtroom to testify. I know he doesn't want to, but I'm curious if they're going to. And I will fall over if they drag Mr. Puffy P. Diddy in there. But he's on the witness list too. And so they can. So we might, I don't know. I don't see at this point, because of how much testimony has been given and he's been named in the testimony, how they don't bring him in, but I don't know. All I know is he deserves to stay in prison. And he should have gotten way more trouble than what he did and way more time. But that's for a whole nother video. Suge should definitely testify. I think it's interesting that that he has, I don't think he's been subpoenaed to. But a lot of them have gotten up on the stand and said, like, I didn't want to be here. I was subpoenaed. I have no choice. So they've made that clear. They don't want to be there. I have no choice but to be here. And yeah, it's interesting. Organized crime is interesting. I'm also, for those of you that don't know, I love Mobland. I love Tulsa King. I like mob shows. My dad loves stuff like that. And so, not that I love gangs. I'm just saying that, especially back in the day, how organized crime operated and how they ran things, it's interesting. So all right, let's hit these super chats and then we will skip on out of here, and we'll see you guys tomorrow at 3:00. We'll be going over other stuff. Maybe we'll do a little bit more on because in the comments, it seems like a lot of you guys are still following a little bit of the Tupac case. So maybe it's more than I thought, which is nice, because again, there's a lot there. I'm curious how many of you, if you guys can let me know in the chat, like how many of you guys believe that Diddy had something to do with both Biggie and Tupac? I wonder how crazy I am. All right, so let's see. We left off here. Peaky Blinders, member for 7 months. Thank you for being here for 7 months. Peaky Blinders also bought like a ton of memberships for the channel, so that was really sweet. S. Joe, thank you for becoming a member. Again, I hope you enjoy the channel. Again, I uploaded a members only last night. I'm going to upload another one tonight. It's going to be about a case that happened in Kenton, Tennessee, right down the street, like literally 3 houses down from my grandmother. It was completely disturbing, completely upsetting, wild. I can't even believe this happened in this part of Tennessee. I've been going there obviously my whole life. Very quiet town. Nothing bad happens there. And it's so sad. It's so sad. So I wanted to shed light on that. We're going to follow that through trial as well. It's something that my grandma cares about so much. So I wanted to make sure to talk about that on the show. I remember when they were waiting to bring charges and we didn't really know if they were looking for someone, but there was no bolo out. And we were like, oh, it has to be like one of the parents. And it was just crazy to live in real time. Staten 2033, thank you for the $5 super chat. How are we ever going to get the truth when the cover up from Arizona to DC? So I'm going to cover more of the Arizona politics, I think. I've done a lot of work on the Arizona politics, and I'm actually trying to learn more in depth about Arizona politics, like as far as like the delegates and different things, and how it goes from like the lower government to the higher, if that makes sense. I just want to make sure I have all that correct before I speak on it. But there's a lot of interesting things with Tyler Boyer and the Farnsworths, and there's a lot there. So yeah, the McCains way back with Arizona. Arizona's had a lot of corruption for a long time. So there's a lot there. Dr. Tetanus, member for 7 months. Thank you so much for being here for 7 months. I can't believe there's some of you guys that have been with me that long. I can't believe I've made it this long and the channel's grown how much it has. Truly, it's mind-blowing, honestly. I can't even believe it sometimes. Not to say that I'm not fun to watch. I mean, I don't think I'm the worst out there, but obviously there's room for growth. The show can use a lot of work, but good enough for 7 months in, or what am I? It'll be a year in November 16th, I think. or 15th, something like that. So I'm doing okay, I think, so far. And Christine Linton, thank you so much for the jewels. I appreciate you. Again, I appreciate everything. I appreciate all the Cash Apps too. I might have to go get a coffee just so I can get through, because after this, I'm going to try to record some videos for you guys. And most of you know I pre-record all in, well, I try to get it done in a couple days where I put all of my things together and I just record. That way, the rest of the days I can either watch trial or I could research. And it's hard because even with trial, like I said, the days are long. And then the days I want to research, research, once you start doing it and you're following a rabbit trail, next thing you know, it's 1:30 in the morning. You guys, I didn't wake up till almost 10 o'clock today. That never happens. That is not me. But I've been staying up until 1:30 in the morning preparing all the information I need so I could just film video to video to video and also keep up with trial. And I'm like falling asleep trying to keep up with all the different things that I'm trying to look into. There's not enough hours in the day. Like, I understand why people have teams, because when you're doing the editing, the thumbnail creating, all the things, and a lot of people, I get emails, why don't you hire someone? Well, that costs money. So anyways, I just want to say I appreciate all of you guys being here. Again, Simple Man is my favorite Leonard Skinner song. It was my dad's. And honestly, that song, it reminds me so much of my dad. He was a simple guy. He just loved his family. It's like all he cared about. And as long as his wife and his kids were good and he had them, and you know what I mean? You could get through anything. He just was a simple person. I don't know. It's hard to talk about him. He was a good dad. So, but yeah, Leonard Skinner's great for cruising, windows down on a little bit of a chilly night and a beach walk. It's the jam. So let's see. I think I got all the supers. Ooh, I want to look at the Diddy thing. Yes, Diddy definitely. Oh my gosh, yes, I'm not crazy. Yes, there's so much there for both. Yeah, I just think he did. I really do. So I want to just put this out there because, like, maybe you guys will know more, but some people have now been saying, oh, well, Diddy didn't have the money to do that. Suge Knight did. Like, Suge Knight had more funds than Diddy back then and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, do you guys realize, like, Diddy, how much power Diddy had? He had money. You can't tell me the man was broke. He was stealing every artist that worked under him's money. Basically. They were going broke because of the percentages that he was taking from them. Like, he would insert them himself in their music videos and like charge them for it, even though they didn't even ask him to be in the music video. Like, he was so awful. He's just awful. Awful. So yeah. But then again, Tupac, with Death Row Records, he was Death Row Records. He was. Why would Suge take it? Doesn't make sense why Suge would take him out. To me, I think Suge and him were both supposed to go toodaloo, and that's not how that went. You're saying Nolan and CK, same people covering up. Yeah, I'm gonna look into that further. Kristen and I are gonna have a very in-depth conversation if Kristen is still in here. And we're gonna go over everything. She's gonna have to get me caught up on like the ins and like the major ins and outs, because again, I'm trying so hard to keep up with everything. It's just there's not enough hours in the day, but there's a lot of weird stuff there. The big donors are connected. Officer Tatum too. I'm totally not sure. I just started watching on it. Yeah, I think it's weird that they reached out to Tatum to go through some of that stuff. That stuff was very weird to me. Him being on Nancy Grace. There's some things that were going on where I was like, I don't know. Now I see someone wrote Clyde Davis. Who's Clyde Davis? Clyde Davis. Never mind. I'm retarded. I mean, I shouldn't use that word. Stupid. I'm losing my mind. I just started watching the Lindsay case. Lord, it's disgusting. It's horrible. And it's caused people to lose their minds, to say the least. Yeah. I don't know why. I think I'm used to like now watching trial. I'm getting so used to like their nicknames. Clive, yeah. I'm so used to their nicknames now. To where I'm losing it. I also am going from like one thing to the next. So it's so funny to try to keep up. My brain just like, again, I need coffee, I think. So, all right, guys. I appreciate all of you guys being here. Whitney Houston, yeah. You know, I want to do videos too on Aaron Carter and Nick Carter. There's so many weird things, but Aaron Carter, I have this terrible feeling about Aaron Carter dying. And it's a whole thing. And I'm sure you guys have probably seen things on it, but there's a lot there that definitely ties into, I think, Biggie even more, Diddy even more. There's just a lot. There's a lot. You could go on for days with some of this stuff, but Aaron Carter, it's always been in my gut like that. No, I think that something was wrong there. Something happened, and I don't think it's the story we got. So we will definitely follow the Nolan Wells case. We'll start putting that together. And actually, maybe what we'll do is Friday at 3:00, our live will be strictly on Nolan Wells, so that those of you that aren't familiar with the case can get familiar with the case, and then we'll go into all the details. So let's do that. Michael Jackson, so much there. We could talk about that one day. I definitely have that on my list. Nothing right about Aaron Carter. There is not. There like a lot going on there. So again, I appreciate all you guys. I'll see you tomorrow at 3. I will announce the topics probably on the thumbnail. Let me get with Kristen. Let me see what we can work up. Maybe we'll split it between, like I said, TPUSA, Biggie, and maybe we'll jump into the Nolan Wells a little bit. And then maybe Friday we'll do an even deeper dive into Nolan Wells, because there's so much at this point with that. I think we could do that too. So, but we'll look into it. And again, I see more Aaron Carter comments. That's something I definitely want to touch base on, because that always bothered me. It's something that I like dug in the background, and then I stopped because I was doing the Charlie Kirk stuff, and that kind of takes the forefront a lot. But again, I appreciate all of you guys. On your way out, please be sure to like the live. Again, I'm going to post in the post section in the community area when I post things, just because a lot of things people aren't getting notified. And I just want to make sure that, the videos are getting out to you guys. And hopefully, if they're getting the engagement, they'll continue to get pushed out. Again, I'm struggling with that. So I'm praying that this will get better, because it's been an interesting week with that. And it's frustrating when you put the work in and then nothing's going anywhere. But I appreciate all of you guys. I'll see you tomorrow at 3:00 Eastern again, and we'll be going over all the stuff that we just talked about. I appreciate all of you guys again. Have a great Wednesday. I'll see you all tomorrow.